They told me not to smoke drugs, but I wouldn't listen. Never thought I'd get caught and wind up in prison. Chalk it up to youth, but young age I ain't dissing. I guess I just had to get it out of my system, out of my system.
All right, welcome to another episode of Uncarcerated. This is our Represent Justice edition because we're in Atlanta, and I wanted to talk to as many of my Represent Justice fellow ambassadors as possible while we're here. Fellow filmmaker, fellow ambassador, and I'm lucky enough to be joined now by one of my favorite people, one of the most interesting people in this year's fellowship, because they have that like quiet, reserved like self, but you know that they're really good at everything they do. And incredible artist and activist in California, Angie. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so, you know, I know like talking about yourself is probably your least favorite thing to do, so it means a lot that you came and did the show this evening, but talk about your level of impact with the system and sort of like what influenced you to get involved? Because I know that you do a lot where you live in California. So,
well, my impact with the system started when I was really young. My birth mom, has been in and out of prison my whole life. I've never been with her, so I've been impacted by the system since a very young age, and it didn't take too long for me to follow in her footsteps, although I really didn't want that to happen. But I ended up getting caught in the recidivism cycle, going back and forth to prison. And it's like I always wanted to do better and wanted better, but it was really difficult once I got trapped in that cycle it was just like insanity, just over and over again, going back to prison and starting over, and the same toxic relationships, the same, just, you know, it was just like I was just at a point to where I'm like, enough is enough. Life, I've got to make a like legit change, a meaningful change, that because I don't want to be, you know, supposed to be retiring, but instead I'm doing 25-year prison sentence, because every time I go back to prison, it's longer each time.
yeah, and it's so much easier to go back every time because you have this like sheet of like little things that now are compiling and making it a big thing. You're never allowed to give nuance and context or your story in the courtroom. Your just charges are just read off, which is actually one of the big reasons we want to do this show, because I knew from going to prison that like what it says on paper is rarely what you did, and it's rarely who you are. And that's why we wanted to do this show, to let people be able to tell their stories. So what finally, like, I hate to say clicked, because it really is like a series of seeds being planted, but was it the program that you currently like manage and are involved with? Was that it, or was it something like that?
This last time I went to prison, I just knew I had to change something, so I didn't go back to the place that I was raised in. I just went to a whole new area, and just, I guess you could say, to start over. And you know, it was a big step, and like I was scared of being in a new place that you know, it's just easier to go back to what you've known for so long. That's what's comfortable. But I just got, right before I got out of prison, I got accepted into a program, thankfully. I took advantage of the ARC program and the Ride Home program. They dropped me off right at the program that I still am connected to and live at their independent housing today. And, you know, that was over 2 years ago. And now I've been down here in LA to stop the cycle. I was just ready to change.
Like willing to do anything. Yeah, it really is like a willingness, but also that has to be combined with opportunity. So can you talk about the ARC program? Because the little bits and pieces that you've told me about sound really special.
You know, when people get out of prison, you get your $200 gate money, at least in California. And
oh, it's $50 in Florida.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's like you go from losing everything. I didn't even have a pair of socks to my name when I got out. All I had was the gray outfit, my shorts and whatever wrestle t-shirt or whatever it was, that I had gotten in the box in prison. That's all I had. And that's all a lot of people have. They get out with their gate money dropped off at the bus stop, and then you're expected to, meet all these requirements. And so
impossible.
Yeah, but thankfully for these programs, because it's the first day is critical when someone gets out. And now they have this program, the Ride Home program, where they will go to some, I'm not sure how many prisons in California, but they do go to quite a few. And they'll pick people up. And they can't, there's not enough funding to provide support for everyone who paroles in California.
Right.
But they do what they can. So
it's crazy that they have enough funding to make sure that you're arrested, that those police have the best materials and weapons, that they have money for you to house you, but they don't have enough money. The nonprofit world, the faith-based world, the mutual aid world is where that support has to come from.
Yeah, it is crazy to think about it like that.
Yeah. In my community, our police budget is, I think, $148 million a year. Our social services budget is $10 to $15 million a year. And it's well, of course everyone ends up in jail because there's not enough housing and mental health support. And so the program that you are involved in, is there an art component? Because I think I know that you are involved with that. Did you bring that there, or was it something that was already there?
Oh yeah, the program that I'm working at now, the BAM program through the Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory, that is something that I had got into after I had gotten out of prison, and I was working literally at a pizza place at night and a cleaning place in the day, working 2 jobs, just not doing any work I was really proud to tell someone that I was doing, but doing what I had to do. And then the opportunity came to, a mentor of mine kept pushing me towards these programs that she knew of, and it was an internship program that got me to the Arts Conservatory. And that program, they're all about arts. They do have a podcasting studio, radio station,
cool,
mural academy. They pay all the people that work, no one comes there to volunteer. They pay everyone. They understand, that people need to have an income.
Yeah.
But not only do they provide a way for income for people to come, but then they have the youth that come in that are system impacted, opportunities for system impacted people who have been through the system for most of their lives. So yeah, that was a major turning point for me once I started working there.
That's amazing. I bet you get to see really magical things at this band program. I know that we introduced an art program at the large low barrier shelter I was at, and the art program was done by a friend of mine named Iris, and I'd walk in there, and of course my wife runs a garden at the shelter. That's her nonprofit. And between the art class and the garden, just magic is happening. And that's stuff that we're so focused on: food, housing, transportation, all the have-tos, that we forget that the not have-tos are also important, that they are also part of the hierarchy of needs,
Some people looking from the outside who haven't really been through some of the struggles of a system impacted person may look at these programs and really not understand, but until you've been in the position to where you understand. So when you see people and they're genuinely growing and succeeding, and you see people working together, and just seeing people, because it sucks being stuck in that life, and just seeing people do better and be living better, it's really
not be
dope.
lonely. Yeah the loneliness of being systems impacted. We talked to Todd about that earlier. So you got the fellowship with Represent Justice. Was that something that you had applied for multiple times? Was it something that you were excited about? Did it come out of nowhere? What was that experience getting picked like?
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. I honestly didn't even know about Represent Justice before this, and I wish I would have known about it. But some of these programs are kind of word of mouth sometimes, But the same mentor who was introducing me to the arts conservatory and stuff, she told me about this opportunity, and she said that I had to be nominated or whatever, and she wanted to nominate me. She was like, well, would you want to do it? I'm like, I mean, yeah, that would be dope, you know? Thank you for even thinking, like, of me to nominate me. Like, that's dope. Like, I don't feel like what...
Deserving.
Yeah,
yeah.
really.
I felt that way too.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, I know I never applied for it more than once. I just applied the once. She told me not to get my hopes up, and I was like, it felt like a damn miracle, honestly, when they said they picked me.
Yeah, I know. I was like jumping up and down in my house when I found out I got it. And then I was even happier when I found out Julius also got it, because, you know, both of us got nominated. And so it's been really exciting, and I've been glad to have like a travel partner through this as well. So let's talk about the film. You didn't make yourself the center of the film, which I found really interesting, that you made the community the center of the film. You know, I've always been more comfortable putting the focus on something else. I know that sounds crazy because I'm literally doing a podcast right now, but you decided to make the community, to lift that voice up. Talk about what that was like, and why.
They tell us at the beginning of the program, they give us like 4 kind of, I guess, subjects that they say youth justice and, you know, whatever ones, and it just made sense that I worked there, and every day I'm there, I'm just in awe. It's like it's so beautiful seeing this working, like it's seeing these young men like who are fresh out of the juvenile halls. These are, you know, these kids have had it like pretty tough, and it's like a lot of them don't know how to read and write and stuff. Like there's a lot over there, but seeing these guys grow and like start catching on to these things and becoming emotionally intelligent and treating each other like with so much love and respect, it's like so cool to see. It's like, why wouldn't, like, I have to tell that story because it's just fucking beautiful, you know?
I can't wait to see it. Do you feel like you captured what you wanted to? Because I mean, I know a lot of times when you have something in your mind, it's different than when you write it on paper, and it obviously changes when the camera turns on. Do you feel like you got what you wanted?
Yeah, it was definitely a process, because I did change it a couple times, like my outline. I got really awesome, meaningful, genuine moments, although I did find it tough to execute some of the things that like I really had plans for, that it just was between like crew stuff and like the location, a lot of stuff going on. Like there's so much stuff you have to factor in.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the person who's sitting there being filmed and how they feel. I don't want to stress them out and overwhelm them.
Yeah, I get it. We filmed at the shelter. We had a whole day at the shelter, and that was my concern. And then we had some weather issues, and by the time the weather cleared up, I just felt like, you know, I didn't want to stress the crew out. I definitely didn't want to do trauma porn and be putting people on camera that, like, of course they're going to say yes, they'll do it, but then is that their authentic self? And so I was very protective of that community, and I ended up not getting everything that I would have wanted. That really could be its own documentary. So I definitely get that. It comes out July 23rd. What kind of impact do you hope to have out of this?
I mean, I hope to have an impact to, like, for sure raise awareness to the fact that there's youth out there, like especially the youth, like they need support. Going to these juvenile halls and camps and stuff, it's not like safe, it's not healthy for in any capacity for them to succeed. So why the fuck are they doing it like that? Like that needs to change.
Yeah. When I heard the horror stories of the gladiator camps in Florida and what some of my friends went through, I did not go to juvie. I did not go to these gladiator camps. And so just hearing about it secondhand was a lot. And I was like, how is this not a thing? How do people not know about this and shut them all down, you know? So yeah.
Seriously, it's heartbreaking. Like we're supposed to be taking care of the kids, and like it's just, I feel like it's just like a responsibility thing. Like I don't know, but I hope to at least raise awareness and I kind of struggled with my like tying it to a legislation piece and stuff like that. I was able to find one. There's like Measure J in Los Angeles, to where they take a portion of the sheriff's budget and it goes to programs for reentry and youth and job training and stuff like that. So that is going to be on the ballot this year in November. It already passed, but there was some technical stuff, but so it's coming up again. So that's going to be one of my call to actions, is to vote yes on that. But I also want, after that happens, to be able to continue the impact piece.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're super excited to see it and to see everything that you get to do on this journey. Is there any place that people can find your work, things you've written, your art?
I need to step up my social media game for sure. I am on there, Angie.m.frias. But yeah, I need to step up my social media game for
I'm
sure.
sure this podcast is going to be what tips you over the edge, for sure. The literally tens of listeners that we have. Thank you so much, Angie, for joining us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yep.
They told me not to smoke drugs, but I wouldn't listen. Never thought I'd get caught and wind up in prison. Chalk it up to youth, but young age I ain't dissing. I guess I just had to get it out of my system, out of my system, out of my system.